In the world of professional wrestling, few names have ever reached the level of fame and influence that Hulk Hogan did. For decades, he stood as the ultimate symbol of wrestling glory, the hero every kid looked up to. But behind the cheers, the bright lights, and the slogans about saying your prayers and eating your vitamins, there was a much darker story. Many of Hogan's fellow wrestlers quietly despised him, and WWE legend Shawn Michaels recently revealed the truth behind the tension. From betrayal and manipulation to ego and hypocrisy, the real story of Hulk Hogan isn't about glory. It's about control, politics, and revenge. Shawn Michaels, known as the Heartbreak Kid, described Hogan as one of the most difficult men to work with behind the scenes. According to Michaels, Hogan had a habit of manipulating storylines, demanding creative control, and making sure he always came out looking like the hero, no matter what the script originally called for. Michaels experienced this firsthand during SummerSlam 2005, a match that was supposed to be the beginning of an epic trilogy between the two legends. The plan was for Hogan to win the first match, Michaels to win the rematch, and a third and final match to decide who truly stood tall. But Hogan had other ideas. He used his backstage power to cancel the rest of the storyline entirely, ensuring he walked away as the unbeatable hero yet again. When the two met in the ring at Toronto's Sky Dome, Michaels decided to take a subtle form of revenge. Instead of delivering a traditional wrestling performance, he turned the match into a live-action parody. Every punch, every slam, every move from Hogan sent Michaels flying across the ring as if he were in a cartoon. The exaggerated bumps were no accident. They were messages. Michaels was mocking Hogan's ego and exposing the politics that had corrupted wrestling's backstage world. What should have been a dream match became a masterclass in irony. Hogan, the man who preached about honesty and integrity, was being humiliated in front of thousands by the one man who finally decided to call his bluff. Years later, Michaels admitted in interviews that the overacting was completely intentional. He wanted to make a point, one that wrestling fans and insiders would never forget. Even though the two eventually buried the hatchet, that night at SummerSlam remains one of the clearest examples of how deeply resented Hogan was among his peers. But the story goes back much further than that. In 1986, Jesse "The Body" Ventura tried to form a wrestling union, a bold move meant to protect wrestlers with health insurance, retirement plans, and fair pay. But instead of support, Ventura got betrayal. Hulk Hogan went straight to Vince McMahon and exposed the entire plan. The effort to unionize was crushed instantly, and everyone involved was threatened with termination. Hogan's decision wasn't about loyalty to the company, it was about money. He was making millions more than almost anyone else and didn't want anything jeopardizing his financial empire. Ventura never forgave him. He said, "You can't be friends with someone you don't trust." Hogan ratted me out to Vince. That single act of betrayal shaped the future of wrestling, ensuring that generations of wrestlers would struggle without basic protections. Even worse, Hogan's public image as a clean, moral role model was built on lies. He claimed he never used steroids, but wrestlers backstage joked that when Hogan told kids to take their vitamins, he really meant steroids. The hypocrisy ran deep, and it wasn't long before others began to share their own stories. The Undertaker, one of wrestling's most respected figures, once revealed his own experience with Hogan. At Survivor Series 1991, Undertaker defeated Hogan to win his first WWE Championship. It should have been a defining moment, a new era. But Hogan claimed afterward that The Undertaker injured his neck during the Tombstone piledriver. When the footage was reviewed, it was obvious Hogan had landed safely. The injury was fake. Hogan had lied to protect his image, and avoid making the younger star look strong. The Undertaker admitted he was shocked, realizing that even legends weren't safe from Hogan's politics. Then there was the infamous feud with Randy Savage. According to wrestling insiders, before WrestleMania 9, Savage allegedly punched Hogan, giving him the black eye he claimed came from a jet ski accident. The real reason? Rumors suggested Hogan had disrespected Miss Elizabeth, Savage's ex-wife. Bret Hart later confirmed he didn't believe Hogan's story for a second. Savage had been one of Hogan's biggest allies, yet their friendship crumbled under the weight of Hogan's manipulation and ego. Bret Hart himself had his own problems with Hogan. During the early 90s, WWE planned to make Hart the new face of the company. But Hogan blocked it. At a photo shoot in Halifax, Hart realized the planned SummerSlam match between the two had been canceled. Another decision driven by Hogan's refusal to share the spotlight. Years later, Hart called Hogan nothing but a liar, saying his behavior symbolized everything wrong with wrestling politics. Fast forward to 2015, and Hogan's public image collapsed completely. Leaked audio surfaced of him using racial slurs while talking about his daughter's dating life. The scandal was massive. WWE didn't just suspend him, they erased him from their history. Merchandise was pulled, his name was deleted from the Hall of Fame page, and fans turned on him almost overnight. For many in the wrestling community, it was poetic justice. The man who had manipulated so many for decades was finally facing the consequences of his actions. Wrestlers like The New Day released powerful statements condemning his words and questioning his sincerity when he tried to apologize. Mark Henry, one of Hogan's few defenders at first, offered to help him make amends by visiting predominantly black schools to apologize in person. But Hogan refused, showing once again that he wanted forgiveness without doing the work to earn it. The incident didn't just expose racism, it revealed Hogan's pattern of taking the easy way out whenever he could. Behind the scenes, Hogan's reputation continued to suffer. Many wrestlers resented his refusal to take bumps, meaning he avoided physical punishment in the ring. Wrestling is built on trust and shared pain. Everyone takes hits to make the show believable. But Hogan, already rich and powerful, refused to put his body on the line like the others. To his peers, that was the ultimate betrayal of the brotherhood. Even worse, he used his creative control to protect himself from losing.